Hey everybody, Arnaldo Wafferman here, and I've been doing my best to go through all the emails and answer a bunch of questions, and if I haven't answered your question yet, it's not because I'm ignoring it, it's just because between a whole bunch of personal stuff going on, between our four schools only our busiest season that we've ever had, some projects as far as, programming shows and stuff for local restaurants and clubs around the nation and all that, it's been pretty busy. So I've been doing my best. I've got an email that was sent, a month and a half ago. Sorry, Grant. Grant sent me this email, and he asked me to answer some questions in my next video. I'm like, sure, I'll get to that right away. Well, this is right away in my time zone, so yeah, I apologize. I actually got a whole bunch of Compy Show videos. I got to do some CleanNet stuff, and I've got NE1 videos coming left and right. So, again, I apologize for the late replies, but bear with me. I'll have more coming soon. So let's see. This is what Grant says. Greetings from the Washington, D.C. area. Hey, I was just there. Hope all is well in sunny Florida. Yeah, it's too sunny in here, Grant. Thanks for reminding us. This message is really saying my thank you for sharing such information. You're welcome videos as far as aspiring DJs and production company owners, and also requests for your counsel answering a few questions. Let's continue on here. So basically, he has some questions. I'm going to read them, and I'll answer them. I didn't get a chance to really review the questions too much before I started recording this video. Maybe I should have, but that would involve preparation and YOLO. So let's go ahead and check it out. Did you start out as a weekend warrior? Were you working for somewhere full-time and did this at any point? If so, what point did you decide, hey, I can support myself doing this full-time, and this is what I want to do? So basically, in a nutshell, I've always been in the music industry in some way, shape, or form, right? My mom, I was born in Costa Rica. My mom was a very well-known singer there. She even had a couple albums out. She's been in TV stations in Latin America. My dad was a concert pianist. Actually, my dad had this awesome ability of hearing a song and then, bam, playing it right then and there with the piano. So music's always been in some way, shape, or form in my family. Well, I moved here, and my first job was working at a skating rink. And it was very easy how I got the job. Hey, your DJ sucks. I can do this better. And she's like, okay, here. So, literally, it was like a live audition thing. Worked out well. Great. Awesome. Okay, now, moving past that, the skating rink is honestly, and I say this to anybody that really wants to start out DJing, especially if they're young, go take a job at a skating rink, at a bar or something, because if you screw up, no one cares. But you can really work on honing and perfecting your craft, beat mixing, whatever it may be. You screw up, really, who cares? And yes, you can practice at home and all that, but I can tell you right now, straight up, there is a huge difference between practicing at home and really getting it out in front of a crowd, because you may want to try something adventurous in front of a crowd, and you learn, hey, I'm never going to do that again. Because what may sound good to you at home, it's going to sound terrible live, and you know what I mean. So anyways, after that, once I started wanting to get a more serious career, I started working for a hospitality IT company. If you don't know what that means working for hotels, working for restaurants, the devil. I love working with restaurants. They're some of my favorite clients when it comes to working with lights and such. But point-of-sale systems, I would much rather listen to every Nickelback track played backwards at the same time while I'm having freaking Q-tip shoved all the way through my ears in one side out the other. It's not a lot of fun working with POS systems. I think it's the worst part of working with IT. So that quickly fell out. And at that point I was dating, my wife now. So she wound up just having a full-time job while I tried finding something to do. So I started calling different companies. I'm like, I really like DJing. Let me call some mobile DJ companies. And one of the smaller companies said, hey, contact this company, Aprim Entertainment. So I went and applied for them. Within a couple of months, I was operations manager. Basically, I was in charge of equipment, getting things going. Then I became, vice president of marketing. Got more and more involved with that. Then vice president. Then 2005, 6, I can't remember. Actually, it was a little bit, 2006, 07, I went to John Young seminar. And on the way there, I'm like, we started hitting some schools, etc. Let's create a whole segment of it. And I really push all this in other videos, so I don't want to go too much into that. Basically, at that point, that's when Four Schools Only was born. That's when I realized, I really want to do this full time. Right to the point that I did leave school. I quit college. I'm like, I'm wasting a perfectly good scholarship that could really go to somebody else if needed, and I'm going to get a degree to do the exact same thing that I'm doing now. So I'm wasting my time. If I want to go back to computing, I have certifications at that point that I could have fallen back on. So I wasn't too worried about that. But yeah, technically, I still work for Aprim Entertainment. I'm a partner and I'm not, if that makes sense. Meaning that Four Schools only, it's its own entity, it's its own staff. I make the financial decisions, but we have a CFO, we have a CEO, I'm president. It's an actual structural type thing, and it works out well for me because I have somebody that I can fall back on whenever I get swamped, and vice versa. How many people work at your company, and are they employees working full-time or 1099? So basically, and I tell this to all my guys, look, I can make you do a 1099, but then you have your own insurance, you need to take care of your own music, your equipment, etc. You could use some of our equipment, but then it gets tricky with insurance. So I said no more 1099, it's W-4. If you don't want to be W-4, you can go work for another school dance company. Oh, wait. So basically, that's it in a nutshell. All our guys are W-4. It's much easier that way for us to really quality control everything. I'm totally against subcontracting because what's the point of offering exclusive DJs if you can get them somewhere else? Now, some of my guys, do some stuff on the side, but they can't do school or youth events. They're specifically ours. And if they don't like it, they can go work for another school dance. Okay, see what I did there? So that's pretty much on that end. The productions you have shown in your videos are very impressive. Thank you. Appreciate that. Do you own all the equipment? Yes, we do. There are rental companies around here. Not many. And a lot of people rent from us. So, yeah, we have to own our own equipment. It's an evil necessity, but I prefer that way as long as we can depreciate everything properly and, of course, make a proper ROI. I noticed your product video reviews show a large diversity of sound and lighting equipment. Yes, particularly sound. I use tons of different brands. It's really a matter of preference what the client wants, and a lot of times what my DJs prefer, too. Do you have a sort of standard set of gear you tend to use at each school dance? No, not really. It's what tool is best for the job. With some events, I prefer using the DOTS PARs because I need wide coverage of areas, and we need some black lights, so we'll use the Ecos, or we're going to have the trussing a lot higher, so we're going to use the UV16s or the UV20s now. Or, hey, I only have 3 hours to set up because the hotel really didn't think about how long it takes to book a prom. Okay, not a big deal. We'll use the Hex 5Ps, and now we can set up our floods, our strobes, and black lights all in one shot. So it really depends on the strategy and really what equipment I like at that point. Some of it is, hey, I need more scanners, and hey, I like these scanners, or I like these moving heads, so I'm going to get these. Makes it a pain in the butt to program, but variety is the spice of life. Let's see here. Sorry, I lost track there. And how do you baseline what sound and lighting equipment is sufficient for, say, a school dance of 500 people? Again, and every time I ask my friend Ben Stowe the engineering question, he gives me an engineering question answer. It's the same thing for lighting and sound. It depends. Multiple variety of factors, right? If I fly point source speakers and I aim them a certain way, I'm going to get better coverage than if I had just two of them, on tripods on the floor. So it really depends on many variables of what we do. Do we do line arrays? No. Am I going to do line arrays? Absolutely not. And I could do a whole video on why we chose not to do that after a lot of research and almost pulling the trigger on several tens of thousands of dollars of line arrays. Let's see here. And even then, that wouldn't be enough money for it. Do you handle the electrical, assuming you're not dealing with traditional 15 amp and tap off a panel and rigging in-house? We don't rig, and I've wanted to, and there's a couple of times where we've brought out, plans to do it, but a lot of our trussing setups, we want the trussing to be part of the show. And what we notice from seeing other rig setups is that the trussing no longer becomes part of the show. We like that psychological barrier that creates on the dance floor when you're dancing underneath the lights and you actually see the truss structure above you. That truss structure above you is lost when there's no legs that are lit or anything like that. So as much as I like rigging and I think it looks great, for what we do at school dances, it just isn't worth the look that we were going for the amount of money and time that it would take and cost our client, of course. As far as electric, a lot of the gyms either have three-phase drops, which I don't need a three-phase. I just need, a couple 100 amp drops and we're good to go. I got distros from there. But thanks to LED, real efficient powered speakers and such, our shows are usually about anywhere from 60 to 120 amps. Most of the gyms in the area have enough power, and if not, then we do what's called a pigtail. And luckily, Florida is blessed with policies that require all the electricians, all the schools to have electricians to handle that. So that's been pretty easy there. I know that may not be an answer everybody likes, but honestly, all it takes is just to call the county, hey, we're going to do a special event. We need this much power. What can we do to make it work? You'd be surprised how flexible counties can be when all you do is call and ask. Let's see here. While I know there's many variables after seeing some of the videos with such epic productions of sound and stage, have you been able to average your proposal costs for homecoming and proms with trusses, blah, 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 everything you provided? How do I typically charge for, say, a homecoming or prom with 600 people? Again, it all depends. We've done dances anywhere from $2,000 to $20,000. It depends on the size of the contract, the size of the school, etc. I don't want to be the pitchman, but masterskooldances.com is going to teach you all that. That's way too much to put. And I'm already in 10 minutes, so we got to wrap this thing up. Have you found any competitors in your market that can offer? No. Look, they can either offer lots of sound and lighting or a really good DJ. It seems that nobody can really do both, and I honestly believe that our company was the first to do both and put it all in a nice, neat package that works with the school before, during, and after the dance year-round, and that's what really boosted us to the top of our game. Let's see here. I ask only because your videos of school dances are, again, unbelievably impressive. Well, thank you very much. Again, I really do appreciate that. And I know there's people out there, not really in Florida, but around the nation that bring a lot more than what we do. But I believe that we're the ones that bring a very unique service, especially when it comes to the actual mixing, the emceeing, and the overall customer service. I wholeheartedly believe that nobody in the state has better customer service than we do. And I tell my clients, if you think we offer crappy customer service, you know where I live. You can come knock at my door. Let's see here. What was your career looked in the summary? How did you get there? Where did you see yourself going? And would you have done anything differently? Yeah, let me go ahead and do that in a second part too, because we're already at 11 minutes. So stay tuned for part 2. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Thanks so much, and God bless.